Everybody, we're back with another episode of Kings at the Table, and we are starting off in a very somber way. First and foremost, we want to take a moment of silence for all of the victims of the Bondi Beach massacre in Australia and for the young people and everyone who lost their lives in the Brown University shooting. That kind of frames and opens up tonight's episode 3 of Kings at the Table. Gentlemen, I hate to kind of begin with something so heavy, and I promise you that we're going to lighten the load as the show progresses. But what we saw this week in regards to gun violence, I think really speaks to some bigger issues in our society. I want to start off with what happened on Bondi Beach, where as of today, 16 members of the Jewish community have lost their lives in a true anti-Semitic terror attack. And I want to talk about how it kind of goes back to what we talked about in episode 1 and episode 2 in regards to how hate is spreading and proliferating, not just around the United States, but the whole entire world. And with that being said, what, one, can we attribute this to? And 2, what can we do about it? Let's talk about solutions, man.
I don't even know if there is a solution, Zach. I feel like we're watching identity-based violence go global. And I feel like campuses like Brown University are becoming kind of pressure cookers for it, where you see these attacks really being focused on vulnerable groups of people, like students. And I think that, anti-Semitism specifically is not anything that's no longer coded. It's overt, right? It's blatant. And I think that while these two things are isolated events, they're part of a larger agenda that we're seeing to really push those who don't fit a certain prototype of person, out. So
hasn't this been happening through decades, through centuries? I know right now, presently, we're talking about the rise of anti-Semitism and different hate groups and hate speech and stuff like that. But what gives credibility to that, or what lends it, is and I hate to even bring up that person, the president and the rhetoric, because right now Lady G is talking about, it was President Obama and President Biden's policies that led to.
And when Sherman says Lady G, right? When Sherman Hardy, our guest on the show says Lady G, he's not talking about Lady Gaga. No. He's talking about Lindsey Graham.
Lindsey Graham.
Of the Ladybug clan.
Yes. And so, he's tempering up the rhetoric as it pertains to this. But when you look at it in totality, it isn't just Muslim extremism. Right now they tried to pin the Charlie Kirk on Christian. They were trying to say it was an attack on Christianity and stuff like that. So every group is just trying to use whatever they can to strengthen their base and to do whatever is necessary in order to get their side to be on top. I absolutely do not condone any of the violence or any extremism on anybody's part. But let's be honest, right now, the world is afire as it pertains to the rhetoric and the licenses that is given to many different groups versus others.
What can we do about it?
Well, before we talk about solution, I do want to say something that I want to make sure I articulate properly. I feel like all of this has really started at a peak of where the one source that unifies us internationally all over the world, and I feel like that is social media, right? And I feel like, it's unfortunate that we have all these circumstances surrounding bullets, but I feel like the true violence starts at language. And it starts at the language that dehumanizes us, that doesn't feel justified until harm is done. And I feel like, with us being in America, other countries look at us. They look to see what we're doing. They look to see what's hip. They look to see what's popular. And when you're utilizing a source like Instagram or social media, and it has a fixated algorithm that particularly shows us being shown in the dark light, it kind of motivates other people in other countries that feel like, okay, this is what America is doing, then maybe this is what I need to do to justify the harm that I want to inflict on others. It's unfortunate about these two situations with Bondi and Brown University, but one thing that stood out to me more than anything was one of the individuals, and I don't know if it was AI because it's kind of hard to decipher these days, but there was an individual that said that he could not imagine that to happen where they were. He said that he was under the impression that things like this only happen in America. And when I heard that, I was like, wow. That's something like, as an American, I can remember when I was younger, we would hear about horrific incidents. We would always hear about it in other countries. And we would always say, America's so great. That never would happen here. And now we are in a state where other countries are looking at us and they are being appalled by our actions that are being highlighted in such brutality. Yeah. It's just, I don't have a solution for it.
When I was in Korea, I was stationed in Korea in 2007, and one of the individuals who was from there, he asked me, he was like, "Why are Americans so violent?" And I was like, "What? What do you mean? I'm not violent, And he's like, "Well, I watch TV and everything I see is like, shooting and this and that." And I'm thinking like, well, doesn't everybody do it? But no, technically, like in other countries, no, that doesn't happen. In Europe, there are more stabbings. There isn't much gun violence as it is in the United States. But I mean, when you look at it in a whole, like Americans have just about as much guns as anybody in the world, as any army in another country.
Significantly more. Our gun laws are significantly more lax. And as a result, we see significantly more gun violence being carried out. I know that we're at like number 360 something mass shooting incident in 2025 is what we saw at Brown University. Again, our hearts go out to every single victim, to the loved ones and families who have been affected by what happened in Australia and, of course, what happened in Rhode Island.
I'm tired of thoughts and prayers, though.
Well, they're not even giving thoughts and prayers anymore. Yeah. I did not see your president make a huge statement about any of this. I didn't see a lot of rhetoric around anti-Semitism. I didn't see a lot of rhetoric around protecting and caring about American citizens and avoiding future gun violence. I didn't see that. So I don't think they're even giving us thoughts and prayers. They're not giving us shit.
Well, he's the consoler in chief. That is literally the job of the president.
It was the job of the president. Now his job is the inflamer and destroyer.
Yeah. And I don't know who is responsible for this type of prevention when it goes on a global level.
It's society. This is our fault. This is what we're doing, right? So we have responsibility as members of this society to tone down the rhetoric and to hold people like Donald Trump accountable, his administration accountable, and people and the bad actors on social media accountable. But you've allowed Black people, them to take away your power. We have cultural capital. We have the power to control the culture. We have the power to cancel, and we've given that away by being afraid and talking about we don't need cancel culture. Yeah. That was our power. That was our strength. That's what kept this shit in check, and we've given it away.
Yeah, and it's just like like you said. I always say condemnation without policy or accountability is nothing but noise.
Yeah,
that's
it's
right.
Nothing but noise.
Condemnation without accountability is nothing but noise, and that's all we're hearing these days. Well, what we haven't heard in terms of noise was what we heard this weekend at the Democratic National Convention's retreat in Los Angeles, where former Vice President Kamala Harris gave an impassioned speech and made a lot of phenomenal points to the audience, and had social media in a buzz saying that it looks like she's ready for a comeback and on the verge of announcing a second bid to be the president of the United States. I want to know what you think about that.
I don't like that.
What?
Her third bid.
Well, point made, Sherman. Her third bid. You're right, because she did run back in 2019, 2020.
And he just validated what I just said, that I do not like that. Because, I mean, America, we love redemption stories. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately for women, it's like they have to redeem themselves twice. Or in her case, 3 times.
Well, Hillary didn't do that much. Hillary was like, okay, well, you know what? I'm out.
I don't know.
She was also older, right? Hillary was a little older.
And white.
I don't know that women, and specifically women of color, get political do-overs. And that's my biggest concern with it, is because I get that
Black women do get a do-over.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know that ever happens, right? And I think that the comeback, whatever, if it is a comeback, I think the strategy matters more than the comeback itself. So whatever the strategy is, right? Because like voters don't just want nostalgia. Like we're way past just like trying to feel something that we once felt. Like we're in too deep for that, right?
Pass.
What
Pass
pass
on Kamala.
you'll
Oh,
pa-
you passed? Oh, my Lord. Well, there you have it.
It wasn't the
Straight
first
shot.
time.
I mean, we can
The
put
second
that.
time I
No,
did it,
we
because-
can put it
we
right
gonna-
there. Let's put it right there, right here.
You gonna pass on it too, Zach?
Hell no, motherfucker.
okay,
I am
so wait.
Zachary. Just stop the motherfucking press.
So let me-
Zachary Kirk is not a pass on Kamala. Zachary Kirk is 10 toes down, and let me grow a motherfucking
too.
extra toe.
Okay,
11
come
toes.
on.
Let me
Help
give
me
you
out
2
though.
damn baby toes.
They used to cut
for
them
Kamala.
off.
So
The
let me-
cut it off is gonna grow back.
But the Democrats are navigating
Yeah.
leadership uncertainty. Let me get this out because
Put it out, and then but go on record. Zachary Kirk is 11 toes down for Kamala.
They paying him.
12 fingers.
Possibly. She
the
wasn't popular the
Democrats
first time
are
she ran.
but
I'll rise it
We're
high and
not-
drop it low.
oh my God, we're navigating leadership uncertainty, y'all, and we need somebody that
right.
we know can
Never
really
anybody
carry-
but Kamala.
right.
But
that
does
can
that
carry the
signal?
torch.
But does that
Who the
signal-
fuck else gonna do it? Her and Gavin
so let
Newsom.
me ask, with her talking like this, does that propel maturity, or is it just nostalgia? Do you think
There's no
that-
nostalgia. There's
You
no
don't think
nostalgia.
there's no
No,
nostalgia?
absolutely not.
Yeah.
There is no. Just being very transparent. What nostalgia are we getting from 107 days of a rapid fire campaign that she was thrown into? That's not nostalgia.
I don't.
What
think
we
that was
got
from the
was a
campaign.
small glimpse of the level of hope and passion and optimism that is symbolic of who she is
I
and
agree.
what she brings to the American people. That is her vision that she was able to cast, that she continuously casts, because she is Kamala for the people. In addition to that, when you talk about nostalgia, there was no nostalgia from her era with President Biden, because she was sidelined by the Biden administration officials, not by President Biden, because Zachary Kirk says and has no problem saying he's my favorite president of my lifetime. Joseph Robinette Biden is my favorite president of my lifetime. But his administration sidelined her, and maybe he allowed it, so maybe he has some culpability, but those are kind of the reality and the facts if you've read 107 Days. But in addition to that, the media was unrelentless in continuing to portray a narrative of her they never portrayed of Mike Pence, and they're
Exactly.
not portraying of couch fucking JD Vance.
Exactly.
Well, yeah,
Okay,
they definitely
so
portray
all of
her
it. So
as
there's no
being
nostalgia.
challenging, difficult and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But let me just be clear.
No, but let's make it clear. No, because we got to talk about it. We got to talk about it.
Well, let's actually talk about what she said, because there was a greater message as it pertains to the Democratic Party when she
Yeah.
spoke about what she actually said, and I do agree, to a certain extent, to what she said. For me, the Democratic Party, even though they may be on a high right now,
Mhm. Are they?
I feel like they are.
it's debatable.
We're gonna talk
but
about it. That's coming up, and that's coming up in crowning
I think they're
moments.
climbing up the mountain. Still.
I would agree with that too.
The
Yeah,
little
but
inch
they
that
are
could,
high.
but they're still always behind, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
And you're a day late and a dollar short, and it shows.
Yes. Yes.
I agree with that.
Wow.
How? Come on
Because I
now.
feel like-
It
I
is.
feel like what
It is.
they're doing,
It
they're-
is
they're
common
finally watching
knowledge.
the
There are so
plan.
many strategists who talk about this all the time. How the Democratic Party is behind. How
Well, they're
behind
hating ass
on message.
motherfuckers.
They're not hating.
They
The-
are.
The Democratic Party needs new
I,
strategists.
And I agree with
I
that.
agree.
think what they're
I agree
doing.
about that.
I think
Messaging
what they're
has
doing.
been
We have
horrible.
been watching.
That's why I said
The
that.
Democratic
About the
Party,
strategy.
the Democratic Party needs new strategists, but new strategists need to emerge.
They
And
need to emerge. They're there. They've
Are
been
they
saying
there?
it for a while. I mean, I know people who have said that they've been trying to get into the Democratic Party, but they have not been leaning over to
have
our
they
side
gone?
of the tracks. A lot of black people, and I'm just going to,
Now we need to call that out, and that's something that needs to be stated and said. Like, let's just be transparent. This podcast has the eyes of leadership in the Democratic Party, so we can just take it right here. I can send this. We will send this directly to Ken. I'll send it to Ken Martin and say, "Look, buddy, like this is what Sherman is saying. Let's put it out there."
Well, you make sure.
And again, I'm very critical of old ass James Carville. Roll that motherfucker
I'm in
into
Maryland.
Yeah.
So, and they just did a tour.
Put him in a crawdad pit.
And
so
and I don't know how many people went out there. I had to work. So
the
but
Democrats.
yes, they were doing a tour. They went to different counties and they were holding meetings and stuff like that. But honestly, it was just a listening session per se. I have not seen whereas the Democratic Party has been able to formulate messaging that they can send back to us that we can repeat ourselves.
We get it every day.
No, we don't get it every day.
We get it. Let me explain
we
the
also
difference.
don't do it in real time. We spend too much time on culture wars than we do on things that actually matter to the people, what they're really concerned about.
Want to hear, and I think that's what the Republicans ran on so much. Now, regardless that they didn't come through on it, they ran with it, and it's still
a bunch of fallacies
with the people. It's just like what Trump ran with his whole campaign. We're gonna make America great again.
We don't. Our messaging is fragmented.
It is,
right. So
it has to be,
but exactly.
It has to be, and it has to be because the Democratic Party is locked into a big tent strategy. And there has to be a message that appeals to every single person in that tent. They could make the choice to cut people out of the tent. And I'm not saying they shouldn't, but you would lose your damn mind if they did.
Yeah.
Let me give you an example. Fuck the far leftists. Cut them motherfuckers out. Zachary Kirk said it. They can go. You want to sit up here and you want to sabotage and you want to sit up and talk about what and hold the party hostage. You got to go. But they don't. But the Democratic Party is not willing to do that because that message resonates. It resonates in California. It resonates in New York. The New York Democrat is not the Georgia Democrat.
It surely is.
Right. So therefore, they cannot have a. But unfortunately for America, the New York MAGA is the Georgia MAGA because they're unified by hate. They're the ones unified by those culture war issues. It's not Democrats. It's MAGA. And we've allowed them and their talking points to infect us. So so again, I might say cut out the far leftists. I might say cut out the damn, this group or that group. I might say rally behind and protect all the black people. But that message will not be universally accepted by all Democrats, and that is the problem with a big tent.
Democrats are the ones that my good friend was talking about who watch, and y'all up there, the Big D, Democrat.
The Big D!
The Big D as a Democrat.
Is not a big Democrat.
The party. Okay. Yeah. I meant the party, the Democratic Party with the Big D, not a Democrat. I want you guys to read The Political Brain. It's a really good book by Drew West.
Okay, we're going to add it to the list.
And it talks about a lot of
Kings at the Table book club, book number 1, The Political Brain.
Yes, because it's going to tell us about how we are behind the curve, how we don't take the fodder that's given to us and actually use it.
You know what
happened to the yes we can? What happened to the hope?
You know what I think?
The hope never went away. The hope is it. And let me give you some statistics because we'll do a brief skip into the crowning moment.
Well, I want to say
go ahead, because we'll give the crowning moment.
What I say I feel will work that would speed the Democrats right up to where they need to be is I feel like for the longest they were watching the Republicans do whatever they want to do, be chaotic, and they were thriving, right? And they thought, well, if we stick to the morals, then it will work for us. But when they finally realized that it wasn't sticking, they started to say, okay, well, let's start doing like the Republicans. But now the Republicans are so far ahead. I feel like at this point, they need to have someone, they need a leader, someone that is going to strategize and come up with a plan. Clear out the outside noise. Don't worry about what the Republicans are doing. Worry about the people. What is the plan? This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to execute it. And this is how we're going to stand by it. We're not going to worry about the retaliation. We're not going to worry about the opinions of others.
That's what they're doing.
No, but they're doing it a little too slow and a little too late. And they're still following.
Are they doing it too slow and too late? Or are you just not hearing it because you're not tuned in?
No, they're still following. No, they're still following the premises that the Republicans set forth ahead of them. Create your own lane. Don't follow the method that they are doing. Create your own. Don't worry about them.
There are people like talk about who later.
Jasmine.
That's next. But when you say yes, there are some Democrats like Gavin Newsom who was trying to follow that playbook. Andy Beshear, Josh Shapiro. There were
really great.
Yeah, there were white people trying to follow the model of MAGA. And I think that's I think it's a momentary gain for long-term failure because you've got to be yourself, strategic, and go your own way. But when you talk about leadership, we have that model in Kamala Harris. That's exactly what she did. That's why when Kamala Harris goes on a damn book tour, she sells out the audience. That's why when Kamala Harris is at the DNC, she soaks up all the air in the room because she is the leader and she's giving us a vision for the future of this country.
What she didn't say while she was in the position to speak.
Well, Kamala said
she said it every day. You just didn't hear it.
Because she said these motherfuckers crazy.
She said it She said it.
Nah.
When she said that shifted. I think that shifted public opinion about her. When she said these motherfuckers are crazy, I think it shifted how we looked at her. And I do think that's an opportunity for her to come back.
There have been opportunities when Kamala had announced that she was going to run, and there were questions, there were interviewers that asked her, why now, and why do you feel as though Joe Biden should have stopped a long time ago, and she still continue to run on, well, I just support him, and this is where we are. You should have stated how you felt at that moment, like you're doing this book tour. You should have stated then, and that's why I keep saying the Democrats were.
How disrespectful was that?
You can't alienate the donors.
How disrespectful was that?
How disrespectful is that?
But
she made the right choice. I didn't see that as a misstep.
We have to show up as a unified party. Putting that type of messaging out there would have done the exact opposite of what we're trying to do.
And
so, with that being said,
how's that?
Because it shows that we're fragmented. You're never gonna see. You're never gonna see a Republican go on a national platform like that. Question I believe was asked on The View. You're never gonna see, I don't know, J.D. Vance or I don't know, somebody else go on there and say, oh, well, yeah, Trump should have blah, 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 never ran or whatever. Like,
you're not. So let me tell you something right here. Every time, no, you haven't. Every time the Epstein files are mentioned, every time the Epstein files are mentioned in public, J.D. Vance goes ghost.
Boom.
By design. So he's not asked questions, so he's not able to even be brought to it. They're protecting him at all costs. They didn't do that for Kamala. The media J.D. Vance has been seen by the media, but they don't ask him those questions because they live in fear of the Trump administration in a way they never lived in fear or even had a level of respect for Kamala.
Can I just say something really quick?
You said they weren't protecting her, so that's why she should have just stated the fact.
Well, we got to move on to Jasmine.
I just want to say,
Sherman's going to give us the last word, and then we will move on to Representative Jasmine Crockett and her historic bid to run for Senate in the state of Texas.
It wasn't anything like too important to say. I just like that song, We Don't Talk About Jeffrey. I think it should be a whole song. It was a parody.
We don't talk about Jeffrey Bezos. We don't talk about Bruno.
Oh, okay.
I was jamming to that, but go ahead.
So, you brought up Jasmine. So, Sherman, we'll throw it to you. You kind of begin that conversation.
Well, she's running for Senate.
And your thoughts on this or questions around this?
Well, definitely I watched the first episode, and I had...
the first episode?
What? Well, y'all was talking about her. What did I say it wrong the first episode?
It was our first episode.
Oh, okay. Well, the first episode, and you all were talking about her and about why she should or shouldn't. And, I kind of feel like she should stay put. And it may not be what everybody want to hear, but I think it's too important to chance.
It's too late now. She's already made the decision.
I know. She didn't make the decision, but, it's never too late. Sometimes people, walk
But the seat's gone. The seat's gone. They cut her out of her seat, and so she would have run in foreign territory against another incumbent black representative, Mark Vesey.
She's gonna win.
You're right.
I think she's gonna win too. She's not running scared. She's
y'all think
running
Texas
loud.
is purple? She's gonna win a statewide race in Texas.
I think so.
Well, we've seen that the Democrats.
Yeah, the last time we had this discussion, I was not so sure. As if you guys haven't seen it, watch the first episode.
Watch episode 1.
I wasn't so sure too.
Okay.
But then,
Make sure you watch
my friend here is getting ready to say, we have seen something that was not, no one thought could happen, which is Miami having a Democratic mayor. And so I feel
in 30 years, 30 years, historic.
I'm from Miami, and so
I feel like you got to take that chance.
You do,
and you won't know until you do it.
I mean, we were very close. You're right.
Jasmine, I really do feel like this is her moment. I feel like she's gonna do it. I really do. The first episode I wasn't so sure, but
you feel more convinced. You feel better.
I've been watching and listening what she actually says. I see how she conducts herself. One thing I do admire about her, she doesn't code switch. She truth switch. And so I admire that about her. She calls like it is. And like I said about something I feel like the Democratic Party should do more of is creating your lane, having your identity. shutting out the noise and keep going forward. And that's what I feel like she's doing, and she's keeping the momentum. So I take my hat off to her. She got my count.
I agree with Sir Ken 100%. I don't have anything to say.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what's the donation link?
Well, she has definitely raised a lot of money.
She had over I think it was like 1,000, like a huge number of like volunteers at her first meeting, her first call for support for volunteers. It was like a record-breaking number.
And it wasn't from because there was a lot of publications saying that she got the money from what's the organization? Golly, I can't think of the name of it. Brain fart. But anyway, she is doing
APAC.
APAC, there it is.
Yeah, she's taking on APAC
because didn't who was it? Heavenly,
Dr. Heavenly
have a good turnout.
Now you
for state representative.
She's not getting that.
Dr. Heavenly's gonna win as well. So
she's not getting that. Sorry.
Child, if we're gonna talk about Dr. Heavenly, we might talk about Nicki Minaj.
And that's what we
and that's a great way and a good segue from our first segment. Of course, we did Matters of the Crown, where we talk about the burning political issues of the day, to go into the royalty. And this kind of fell in between those two sections, with Nicki Minaj going full-blown MAGA in the course of the week and taking no prisoners in the process. You know, are any of you Barbs, or were any of you ever really big fans?
Never been a Barb, never been a cokehead, never been a plastic surgery, botched Barbie, was never interested, and never really thought it was cute.
So I feel like, you know, I loved and I admired and I was a fan of Nicki Minaj. She's a very talented individual.
Of course you are.
Again, this goes back to when we first started talking, where I said that we live at a time where a lot of people rely on one source that keeps us all connected, and that's social media. And I feel like we live at a time now where we're more concerned about shock value. What can we say? What can we do to get the most likes? What can we get the most attention? What can we do to go viral? But I feel like at this particular point with Nicki Minaj, the shock value stops working when it begins to harm the most vulnerable. And the most people that are the demographic that's most vulnerable is her supporters. And
how much of Nicki Minaj's fan base or supporters are made up of people who are part of the LGBTQ community? I would beg to differ at least 75%.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's why it's very important for a lot of members of the Black and brown and queer community that have huge platforms. I have noticed some of them are beginning to speak out, especially those that were very highly publicly speaking about their admiration for Nicki Minaj, that now they're saying, hey, you're wrong.
Are they going to cancel her like they did, what's his name from Carolina, from Charlotte? What's the rapper name? You know what I'm trying to say.
Charlotte.
The Baby.
That
was only temporary.
Yeah.
I think that's
are they going to cancel her?
No.
Are they going to cancel her like they canceled Chrisette Michelle for singing at that damn
inauguration?
That's the thing that I have about cancel. When you cancel, you need to stay.
Because I see Chrisette out
tenacious
in
about
time.
it. I feel like there's no point in cancellation if we're not going to cancel. That doesn't mean cancel for a day, cancel for a week. Stand by your values of why you canceled and continue to do that.
In the same way that we've done a Target, we need to do the Nicki Minaj.
And I feel like
don't be shaking your
all
head,
these
Cedric.
celebrities,
Don't you dare.
like I feel like you need to understand celebrityism without empathy is dangerous. And I feel like a lot of these people that we create and make celebrities, because let's just face it, they would not be celebrities without us. They feel like they are above the rules when it comes to empathy and integrity.
I want to go back to the days of when I didn't know about their lives. Before reality TV and everything.
Her husband has a public record, so we're going to have to know about him. He's
for
a
messing with children.
Sex offender.
Yes.
He's a registered sex offender, and if you have not noticed, look it up. Gavin Newsom has posted it. You can research. It is.
Even I know about it.
And I feel like she's being rebellious, but at the end of the day...
No, it's given... what's that?
It's giving I want to stay in the West. It's giving I want to stay in the country.
No, it's
Nicki Minaj during the first Trump administration vocally spoke out against his abuse of migrants in this country, and she revealed that she's been here since age 5. And so again, this to me, I don't necessarily buy it. I think that Nicki Minaj is like, you know what, fuck it, I'll get citizenship, I will get my husband's record expunged, my brother's record expunged, and I'll make some MAGA money in the process because otherwise my career is already fucked. And so that's what I believe. She knows her time has come and gone.
Listen here, you dirty, dingy Barb Roach. Trans kids are not the political football of this moment for you. So whatever you're doing, whatever drugs you're abusing, whatever brain cells you fucking lost, I need you to go seek help immediately. Because if you think that this is the way to get your ass a ticket to stay in this country, then rethink it again. Not only have you come after Beyonce, not only have you come after Jay-Z, now you coming after trans kids. And I hope we buzz your ass out of this damn country. And if we ain't able to do that, I hope you lose every cent and dollar attached to your name.
Whatever she may have left. They say it's not much.
And also remember, Trump has no loyalty, honey. We the people do. And just like we made you, we can break you.
Thank you.
And what goes around definitely will come back around. Choose
Well,
your words wisely. That's
honk
all
the
I'm
horn
saying.
on their
And one day she may be out.
Leaks.
One day she may be out in the streets and no one will even know who she is, exactly as what happened to Fawn Weaver's former classmate. Sir Ken, this is something that you brought to the world, T. Give us the Fawn
And that's
Weaver
your
tea.
friend?
Tell us what happened.
Okay. So
That's his friend.
no, we're doing that. We're not doing that. So I'll summarize it because I thought you were going to talk about it, and I was just going to speak on that behalf. But
I want to know your angle on it because I know you have a
we gotta
different.
let people know who she is.
Yeah, give us the
So
background.
Fawn Weaver is basically the CEO of a. Fawn Weaver is the CEO of a
of Uncle Nearest.
of Uncle
Nearest. Yeah,
Bourbon.
bourbon.
You tell it.
Well, no, you continue.
Are you gonna let me?
You would- Somebody tell the story.
Let me you were sitting there scrolling on your computer, man. This motherfucker may not know. So I was trying to help you out.
Fawn Weaver is the CEO and co-founder of Uncle Nearest, which is a premium whiskey brand.
Yes.
Okay.
And it is
Black owned.
And if you don't know the history, are you guys familiar with Jack Daniels?
Yes.
We are.
Well, Jack Daniels has been the face of a white man for the longest time, right? But what people don't know is there was a black man that actually taught him how to make the whiskey. And that black man happened to be
Uncle Nearest.
And so now she has this brand that they've taken the time to go back to the homeland of Uncle Nearest, the ancestors and all of that, and create this whiskey. And now it is like the #1 whiskey all over the world. And they're using the actual recipe that Uncle Nearest himself has. And it's just, she is, like I said, the CEO. And she's come under fire because she travels all over the country to do like these bottle signings. And for the holidays, starting Thanksgiving, she has this cognac. It's called Cognac Cask. And it's a limited supply because it's made from a very special barrel. I'm not that much of a whiskey connoisseur, so I can't really tell you the specifics of it. But she came to Atlanta recently, and she's done a couple of signings at different locations. This particular location, she was at Camp Creek liquor packer store, and there were a lot of people. The lines have been long, and as she got out of her vehicle to walk with her security to go into inside the store to start the signings, a young man came up to her and said, basically, hey, we were in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade together. And the backlash started because in that particular moment,
She pulled a Mariah.
she did not. In that particular moment, she basically
I don't know
said,
that
are
one.
you serious? Like, are you kidding me? Or whatever. She didn't know if he was serious or not. She made the announcement amongst the crowd, the people that were waiting to get their autographs and stuff. And she just politely said to him, I'm sorry, sir, I don't remember that. And she gave him a hug, and she went on about the show.
Her day, yeah.
So what happened was someone had recorded that, and they put it on social media, and these large platforms took it and ran with it by calling her arrogant, rude, disrespectful. She got the big head now. All these different things that was actually not the case. And there were a few celebrities, some of which I know personally, that had a lot to say about what she said, but I could definitely call them out. But I won't do that tonight about how they have interacted, not only with others, but with myself personally. I'm going to do that.
Say their
But,
names or leave it on the playground.
Well, I'm leaving on the playground for now. But
Okay.
anyway, for a minute, Fawn Weaver sat in silence. And I get that. And that was a reason where, you have to think about your brand, because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. And sometimes you don't need to be so quick to react. You gotta.
Are you giving any parts out?
No, I'm not.
I wish we could see the video.
I have the video, but we could play that.
Because
maybe.
I was reading the article.
Okay.
and it says it was caught on video, went viral. An unnamed man who looked like he had patiently waited for his chance to speak to her told Weaver that they went to school together. Instead of just telling him she doesn't remember, she seemed to embarrass him by responding loudly. So I'm supposed to remember you because.
And that's why I say the things about publications and social media and these outlets.
She then interrupts herself to turn attention to the crowd gathered outside to say to them, okay, I can tell y'all that this man just said, do you remember me? Make it make sense to me.
And I said all that.
Yeah.
I said all that.
So it
sounds
a little,
How
a little
does it
shady.
sound? Were you there? Did you hear it?
No, but I'm reading.
You saw it, but were you there? Do you know what continued on before and after and during? Because I was there.
You were there.
I was actually
you
there.
Were
no,
there.
I was there.
You were there.
I was there.
Okay.
And I said this several times before. I have been around people. I'll tell you a story.
Okay, so you were there.
I was there.
Okay.
And it didn't come off like how the article said it did. The root was
No.
We saw it on camera, though.
Okay.
I didn't see it on camera, but you guys saw it.
Okay, so are you guys going to ask me?
And how did it go?
Let me speak.
Well, you've been
you
for
told
5
me
You
exactly
can
how
ask
it
me
went.
questions so I can give you an answer. Or you can ask me questions
I don't think
and I can just make it rhetorical.
you're being
and I won't
indirect
respond.
with
Well, we
your
don't know that
answers.
we have a question. We have an opinion, and our
And
opinion
that's
is,
all it is, your opinion. I'm telling you,
Well, we're on the show.
But I want to
Okay,
make sure that you're not
so-
saying
so-
being biased.
okay,
so
so
I
let me-
want to hear from the other guests
I'm
to
not
see if it
okay.
was.
So I'm not going to be biased at this point. I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
For one, I was there, but I'm not going to tell you what I experienced.
Let's-
I know her. I know her for her character, but also this individual that she did that to also stated that he did not feel that she was being
He did
disrespectful.
say
to her.
that. That
Okay.
is true.
And she
That
actually
is true.
spoke to him
She spoke to
afterwards.
him,
She
yes.
took him inside.
Yes.
She did everything.
Yes.
And that's why I tell people, you guys don't know this woman individually. You don't know her how she is. Fawn has always been a loud person. I have the video interaction when she saw me. Every time I reached out to her, every time I made a request, whether she was in Tennessee or wherever, she always made sure she honored her my request. She's always been a respectful, kind-hearted person. She is the people's CEO. She's always loud. She was loud the 4 hours she was there. So by her making that announcement was not to embarrass him. It was almost like she was caught off guard. She had her security guards to go with her everywhere she go. They don't jump in front of her. So when that happened, as she's just getting out of the vehicle, it's almost like, okay, is this like a viral moment where someone trying to play a game? So she made that announcement. And that's all. It was
You
not
get
to
the
embarrass
best
him.
PR manager of the year. You are amazing. Oh my
Well, I
God.
think that's great.
There should be awards given to Sir Ken for the PR cleanup that he just did. I mean, he had a damn monologue.
Bond
He talked
girl,
for
you got a
10
job. You
minutes.
got you hiring.
Girl.
You hiring. He is ready to work. He is right now. Got his shirt, his hat say he can prevent and he can prevent forest fires. He can also prevent forest fires.
Black women
Sir
are
Ken,
done
is-
observing
Sir Ken,
mess for proximity.
Is your
okay?
fur vegan?
What?
So
What?
I think that
What?
I think two things can be true at once.
That fur is definitely vegan. That fur did not come off no live animals. I ain't never seen no naturally occurring magenta.
It's
It's probably
you dyed
us,
fur,
though.
honey.
I think two things can be true at once.
Lasani, don't let him come for you, baby.
I think two
all
things-
her furs are real. Go to the Ivy Room.
I think two things can be true at once. I think Fawn could have spoken to the man and apologized to him, and he not be offended, and we still find it to be rude and inappropriate. Now, let me also say this. I have a complex opinion when it comes to this. I do not think she was wrong. I don't think she was wrong. I don't think she did anything wrong. But I do think that it was maybe not in the best light for someone who's positioned as a CEO of the company. I cannot say that I would not have done the same, but from a CEO perspective, I don't think it was the wisest choice to make.
At the end of the day, brand integrity is leadership, and she did take the opportunity once she settled down into her hotel room and explained the situation. She explained that she apologized to the man, to him personally. She apologized publicly. She expressed how she was feeling and how she felt in that moment, and she had now chosen to go on. So I feel like if Fawn Weaver can go on, we can all go on. So now let's go on to the next subject, please.
So we can't go to the next subject, Sir Kid. Thank you so much for the robust discussion and staunch defense of Fawn Weaver. I will still be buying her.
And it's
Absolutely.
so
Uncle
good.
Nearest.
Yes, because we got to help her
Yeah.
with this conservatory.
And see, that's another thing that you got to be careful of your sources, because trust you and me, only in a few short amount of time, you will see why she is still the people's CEO. So don't go by everything you read and see and hear.
Well, what
better wash them hands.
here's a. I definitely can say that we have definitely drank the royal tea as we roll on over into crowning moments, right? And one thing, and it kind of goes back to what we talked about in the beginning of the episode when I think Sid attacked the Democratic Party and Sherman co-signed the attack. Tonight's crowning moment goes to the fact that the Democratic Party, the DNC, Democrats across America, flipped 21% of all GOP-held legislative seats that were on the ballot. 21% of every Republican-held seat in state legislatures in 2025 were flipped by Democrats. Now, you might say 21%. How is this valid, or how, you know, we would expect that. But let me tell you how many seats Republicans flipped. Let me tell you what percent. 0%. Not a 1. 0. They didn't pick up a seat. Not one Democratic held seat in this country flipped over to Republican. Tell me how that is not a win for Democrats. Tell me how that is not improvement. Tell me how the Democrats in 2025 haven't found a way to kill the game under Chairman Ken Martin. This is a clear fucking blowout. How is it not?
Are they going to be able to sustain? Effie?
Sustainability
is key, because let me tell you
this is the
something. They are
beginning of
riding
a
on
climb.
high right now, but it's what they do in this moment and thereafter that actually makes the difference. Because let me tell you, we have been in this position before.
When?
When President what's his face first got into office.
With President Obama or
No,
President Trump?
no.
No, when Trump first got elected.
Right.
There was a comeback.
There was a wave, right.
And we defeated him at the end of the wave. The wave ended with him getting washed out of office.
And then what happened after that? We got complacent.
And
that's what I'm talking about.
But when I say we, I'm not talking about the Democrats.
Oh,
I'm talking about
I'm talking about
black
people. No,
not
black
I'm
people.
talking about black people.
Don't just say black
I'm talking about brown people.
In general.
I'm talking about all members of marginal groups in this country.
Democratic Party
Sat up here. They said Uncle Joe was sleepy and boring. They stopped watching the news. They allowed white supremacy.
With you about this shit when it happened. Joe was motherfucking delirious, couldn't walk straight, couldn't stand up,
and the record
was
shows
falling
that
over, and his health was declining, and the Biden administration refused to address it at the moment. And I told you then, and I'm gonna tell your ass now, because they refused to address it, it was the downfall of the Biden administration and the beginning of the downfall of the Democratic Party.
And I agree.
President Biden.
Of the United States of America.
I told you that 3
Constitution,
years ago.
and everything else.
President Biden has not experienced cognitive decline at any rate more commensurate than the man who currently sits in the United States White House.
I'm not saying cognitive decline,
but you want to sit here and point the finger at Joe Biden, who maintained excellent appointments, who ran a phenomenal government, and who left behind a legacy of achievement. And you want to put the blame on President Biden as opposed to put the blame where it belongs. It belongs on you and the American people who took their eyes off the prize and sat on their asses because they never had to really fight a long-term fight to achieve something. So they wanted to act like COVID was over and all the terror and the death and the problems were going to end, only to usher us back into the worst part of American history of my 40 plus years of life. That's where we are. And it's not going to get better. It's not going to improve. It's only going to get worse because of what the American people did. And I absolutely blame the 90 million Americans who sat on their ass instead of getting out there and fighting for this democracy. Not President Biden. You can put the blame on Biden. You can put the blame on Kamala, but it belongs on the people.
Is it not the party to energize the base? To get out the vote and do everything else.
I don't need nobody to tell me to get off my ass and vote.
You don't have no.
I don't need nobody to tell me to get off my ass and do what's right for me and my family.
But hold on a second. But see, we're super voters. We thrive and live in this domain. Super voters.
We vote all the time.
But you don't participate in black.
Because I didn't boycott one damn thing.
One damn thing.
In my lifetime.
You're a super buyer.
But the point that I'm trying to make is Yes, we do, but the other
Maya,
people who feel disenfranchised, who feel disengaged, who feel disassociated from the party, these are the people that they should be reaching out to. These are the people that they should be going and doing micro canvassing and trying to understand exactly what the hell do we feel about what's going on in our community. Because you have to meet people where they are. And I applaud the party for going to, to having those events that I spoke about, about 15 minutes ago, but they should have done more. You have to meet people in different ways, and right now they're not doing enough. And I'm sorry to say this, we may feel as though because we got a 21% bump that we're doing the damn thing, but in truth, did they go and vote for our party or get something else?
And I don't even feel it, to be honest. But
you're
right, Zach. You definitely are right.
Well, you don't feel it because it's clouded by so much hate.
Yeah.
Of the
absolutely
right.
All of you guys have made some very valid points, but I definitely would say that with Zach saying that it is up to the people at the end of the day. I say this every single day, and he's right. It is definitely up to us, the people. Are you going to be one of those people that sit on your ass and complain about it, or are you going to be one of those people that say, today I'm going to walk outside and I'm going to do what I need to do, not only for myself but for the people that I care about? And until a lot more people start doing that, we're going to still continue to feel like changes and being made, even though some progress is.
But Obama had said that when he got elected. He said it doesn't stop here. He said, I need you thereafter. And that's where we always fall. And, and I just want to say local politics is something that you guys need to start getting, more involved in versus national politics, because we have these conversations, but things that impact your life the most daily is going to be local politics. And sometimes you can get rid of these people before they go national and statewide.
And that's why y'all don't need to vote for Dr. Evans.
And primaries.
Period.
Y'all need to pay attention to primaries. That's all I'm going to say on that subject.
We are going to very briefly address that, Sid, because you threw it out there. Why don't people need to vote for Dr. Heavenly?
Because I don't feel like Dr. Heavenly is equipped, nor does Dr. Heavenly have the political candor or education to be holding public office. Dr. Heavenly was found on a Instagram live or social media live, I don't know what platform it was, talking about how ashamed she was of exposing the fact that growing up, she was someone who benefited from SNAP or from food benefits, government assistance. That is so ignorant to think that would be beneath you when the county and the district that you're running has a very high rate of folks who benefit from that. And you can't even think within yourself to be vulnerable enough to talk about that part of your life, to build a repertoire and a respect amongst the people who are going to be supporting you in the very community that you live in. You need to pressure wash that house.
Look at Miss Onassis. Let me tell you, because when I run, I tell people, I'm like, look, I've been on assistance, and I do understand the people. So I mean, she should have definitely worded that differently. But I can understand where she's coming from, because so some people do feel a certain way. They do get targeted when they're in the lines and people see them pull out their card. Especially when they look at your card, people start analyzing and looking at your whole entire life.
I really do hate that, because the whole point of it is food stamps. It's not saying, oh, well, you can't eat food this assistance, or you can't eat that. I'm sorry, not food stamps, food assistance. It's not saying that, oh, you can't have crab legs, you can't have salmon, you got to eat tilapia, or you got to eat canned vegetables.
Eat your tilapia, eat your green beans, and finish it off with your cream corn. Cedric, I want to know what makes you think that you are qualified to say that Dr. Heavenly Kimes is not qualified.
He just said it.
But this is what
because I didn't boycott, right? Because I chose to buy.
You make a very valid point, and I will not detract.
No empathy.
I will not detract from what may have very well been a misstatement or miscategorization of how she chose to communicate her personal experiences around governmental assistance. I won't say that wasn't a misstep, because Dr. Heavenly is not a politician.
Why would you vote for her?
I'm going to tell you why I'm voting for her, why I would vote for her. Dr. Heavenly is not a politician. She is an everyday woman, an entrepreneur, a doctor.
She's a reality TV star.
An educated, accomplished woman who has a lifetime of achievement under her belt.
What's her achievement?
And the fact that this woman walks this earth and has achieved what she has achieved, when you come from poverty, When you come from poverty and you've been able to make your way in the world and achieve the level of success of a heavenly comes, you have overcome great. Let me finish. You have overcome great things. The majority of people who have come from her station in life, from where she's from, they don't even get a bachelor's degree, let alone a terminal degree. And that's okay that they don't. But the fact that she has done that is an accomplishment. And let's not take that away from that black woman. Now, when you talk about where she's going now, she has a calling over her life to be of greater public service. And I recognize that. I see that. I hear that.
You Methodist. What you know about a calling?
I am a proud member of the United Methodist Church lifelong. And when I hear Dr. Heavenly lay out her vision for what she wants to do with her constituents in Clayton County, Rockdale County, a small portion of DeKalb County, when I hear this, a very small portion of Newton County, when I hear her lay that out for the people of Georgia's 13th congressional district, I believe that she is a fighter that we need. What we have a lot of right now in the United States House of Representatives, we have a lot of people that are lifelong politicians who are there to collect the check and put their family and friends on. She is.
And how is their comedy doing so far? Like, how has they served in,
Exactly.
He has a long history of service.
Heavily
and he is not the best health.
And then over half of the motherfuckers who live in Atlanta who got doctoral and master degrees. We all damn successful that live in this damn city. Outside of us who scammers.
Businesses. I do all that shit, but I also have humility. I have empathy. I'm philanthropy.
Dr. Heavenly has all of that. This is where you. This is.
She don't, and she slipped too much in the mouth.
As
they say, you're very stupid. If you do the same thing expecting a different result. She is opening up her mouth.
She's stupid at the mouth, though. She's stupid at the mouth.
She had too many fruit and slips.
She's stupid at the mouth. And I see why you're voting for her, because you are too.
You are. You are too. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Let me say this. It's obvious that you have very strong, you have very big feelings. These two men have very big feelings about my friend, Heavenly.
Oh, now
Dr.
y'all
Heavenly.
friends.
I love her. Let me say this.
Heavenly, I love you. We both from Dade County.
I love Heavenly too.
But look, he just got on phone. We were making one mistake, but you're not gonna defend a bitch that made 10. Oh, and now all of a sudden she's for the people.
In the words of Heavenly, your mama.
Okay.
Thank you. Let me say this. I want to say this. It is obvious that not everybody in America has the critical thinking skills to separate the reality television persona of a television character with the real lived experience of that person. So I don't go by what I see in sound bites or what I see in clips or what I see in heavily produced Bravo drama with the reality of who this woman is and what this woman wants to do and how she, to me, will very well be the next Jasmine Crockett in the United States House of Representatives. How this woman is going to be the fighter that the people of Georgia need and deserve.
Okay,
and let me say this. Now, I'm here on this show, debate with these men. I'm going against the man in the fur. It's real. He said it. Stop. Let me finish. He said that this man has told you that this foxtail fur that is magenta is real. What is it?
You don't know your
Mink. Put Drake on me and messed up my forehead and I'm from Nevis.
That's a mink. You got on a mink. You got on a mink coat.
You don't know your breed of species.
I do not know my breed of species. I don't know if it's mink. I don't know if it's blue hound coon. I don't know what it is.
You just make sure you get on the ground and help your friend Dr. Heavenly.
I am. But what I will say is I'm defending against this man wearing this mink coat, and I'm defending against this man who didn't boycott Target. Me, someone who lives and breathes American politics. You vote for who you want to vote for. You listen to who you want to listen to. I'm going with Dr. Heavenly.
Well, why were you not supporting my other friend that was running for office?
We are now going to continue on.
Exactly.
That up today.
It is time. Now, Sid, you've already done the Royal Roast.
I have.
Is there anything more that you have to add? The Royal Roast now really was Nicki Minaj, how disappointed we are as people, and her decision not only to go full-blown MAGA, but to attack trans children in this country, a very vulnerable portion of our population.
Nikki, go to hell, and I hope that when you go, all of the trans demons eat you alive.
Oh, and then I hope they turn you into one.
The trans demons, Jesus.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that was.
And I hope Papa turns into a mum bear.
Well,
without
we also always end the show on a high note with giving a queen a crown. And tonight's crown goes to Representative Laura Underwood. one of my favorite members of Congress. Representative Underwood had a lot of pressure on her to leave Congress, to go from the United States House of Representatives and run for an open Senate seat in the state of Illinois. But she chose not to. She chose to stay and fight for the people of Chicago in her current seat, which I think was a really wise decision. I'm really thankful to see. I love seeing people have longevity where they are. Representative Underwood holds the record for one of the most accomplished yet youngest, newest members of the House of Representatives. No one with her years of service in the House have passed the number of laws that she has passed, or rather have written, authored, or co-authored those number of laws. This former nurse has truly left a legacy already in American politics, but she didn't stop there. Although she's relatively safe in her seat in Chicago, she's made the decision to really support the overall growth of the Democratic Party, where she is now working very hard to field new candidates and find new highly qualified people to run for open seats. And I think that's definitely worthy and deserving of recognition, and most certainly worthy of this week's crown. Man, what do you think about Representative Underwood and what you've been able to see?
I mean, she's building infrastructure. She's not just making moments. So I like that. I take my hat off to you.
I think we need more of it.
We do.
Yeah. It's beautiful to see. And I think that, you know, in a world full of so much BS, it's a breath of fresh air to see a woman at that be at the charge of something that's so, you know, life-changing.
You go, girl.
You go, girl. So, you know, and tonight, but this episode, whenever you watch it at night, you watch it in the day, you watch it in lunch hour, has been brought to you with, you know, 3 amazing panelists. Of course, we have Candidly Said, Atlanta personality and lifestyle influencer. Said, what is a lifestyle thing that you currently have going?
That I currently have going on? Daily journaling and prayer.
And prayer. You've gone mega viral this week for a recent video.
Yes.
And you were praying, basically.
God show me how good my life can get.
I missed
Was
it.
it
Sierra?
Sierra?
Watch it.
It's only going to get better as you boycott Target.
Okay. All right. Well, it was
And
great.
you
Does Tucker have a stronghold on you that bad?
No, it doesn't. And I boycotted it for
Release him, Jesus!
I boycotted it for 3 months.
Uh-huh.
And then when I saw that, you know, the stocks fell and the CEO got fired and all that stuff, I said, well, I guess we did what we needed to do. And I went back.
Okay.
So wait, can we hear more
But
about
we're
this video?
talking-
No, let's hear. Yeah, go get your
Yes.
prayer.
So I have amassed almost 2 million views on TikTok for a prayer, God, show me how good my life can get. And so, yeah, I'm just grateful. I'm an avid prayer. I grew up in church. I grew up in the Baptist church. I love God. I'm a very spiritual person. I journal and pray daily, weekly. It is a fixture in my life. And so, my whole life goal and purpose has always been to help people see God and see the light that Jesus brings in the world. And I have a heart for Jesus, and I have a heart for people knowing Jesus. And so my wish for every person is that, you know, as they lean into their relationship with God, that they can truly live a life that's full of freedom and light.
Yes. Amen.
Okay. And in addition to lifestyle influencer, Candidly Said, we also have a serial entrepreneur, the one and only I Am Sir Ken. Sir Ken, now when you talk about your serial pursuits, what is something that you have that you want to share with our audience around what you're currently doing in regards to entrepreneurship?
Well, if you don't know, one of my primary businesses is that I have a luxury veterinary care business, and basically we just accommodate pet owners at their residences 24 hours around the clock. But what we're also branching out to now is I'm working on a show. So
Tell us about the show.
So if you haven't noticed, I have been on a few episodes of the Cutlass Court, and basically they hired me as their animal behavior expert to help them deliberate over the cases involving the people involving their pets and whether they get ownership or custody or whatever. I took with that, I realized that those were some of the highest viewership of episodes. And right now I'm working with a team of producers where we are actually going to work on a show that works on our primetime network, centering people's relationship with their animals and cases like that. Also, I am in the process of working on a cooking show. my past relationship, I did a transformation of cooking, transitioned to pescatarianism, and it had a lot of benefits for the heart. And I think that people think that when you change your eating habits to become healthier, it's less tastier. And so I've mastered in making tasty meals that are absolutely low to no sodium and beneficial. So it's called Divine Delights with the Don. So that's coming out. And of course, my show, the BBC show on iHeartRadio, WTT Radio, will be relaunching in January with new episodes twice a week.
I know you've been filming that before coming here.
Yeah.
Serial entrepreneur. What is your favorite fish?
I would have to say branzino and salmon.
Those two are the ones that you've been enjoying the most, branzino
I like
salmon.
snapper.
That's it.
You do like snappers?
That's it.
I love a good snapper.
That on the group
And
vote.
so, and we are
She
joined
did.
here from the DMV, from Prince George's County, the one and only Sherman Hardy. Sherman, welcome. And you've been in the fight. You've run for office. You've jumped out there. You've done that. What are some lessons that you can share with anyone watching this, specifically our friends at the DNC?
Some lessons. Messaging. Please help us with messaging.
What does that look like? They need
it's-
specifics.
This can't be done on this show, and we only have a few minutes remaining.
We have
I
a
didn't
few
bring my
minutes.
notes, but
Off the dome. Like, you know what you want them to say, how you want them to message?
no, I just feel as though like we are always behind chasing narratives instead of setting our own messaging and being at the forefront of it. We've been playing catch up all the time, like we've just been discussing this entire time, and it's always running after something that Republicans have said or done or something that they're trying to pass. And the people truly just want to know how they're going to pay their bills.
Mm-hmm.
Sherman, who's a Democrat that gives you hope?
Well,
Heavily.
I do like heavily. I don't know about as far as voting for her. I haven't really seen her campaign, but I trust what you say, and I believe it. But
I have an interview with her that's on the channel. I'll check it out. It's really good.
We'll do that. But
Turn the transcripts on first. So you can make sure
it was
what
Bernie
she said.
Sanders. That's who honestly really got me into politics and going forth and trying to do.
He like black people?
Bernie had a diversity. I will say this: Bernie had a diversity problem, especially during his
Thank
second campaign. Listen, I am
Honesty.
very blunt and honest, and that's why
That's why we love a Libra. That's why we love a Libra.
And this is why I'm not elected at right now, because I tell it like a TI is, and
Yeah.
I don't pull my punches. And a lot of people like that. But that's the problem. We have to stop being so soft. And you guys need to start debating each other so that you get stronger and better as it pertains to going up against, in these primaries to the general election. That's all I have to say.
I love it. Everybody, thank you so much, and we can see you next week.
Amen.
Peace.